welcome to the newspaper review and analysis on SBS 96.9 FM. We're located at the Federal Locust Housing Estate Oloje Ilori, and I am Racheal Damilola Arokoyo. With me here in the studio is
Olubukola, Abiola. A beautiful morning wherever you're tuned in, listening to us on SBS 96.9 FM.
All right, today being the 10th day in the month of December, we welcome you once again to the newspaper review and analysis on behalf of the Chief Executive Officer, Alhaji Salman Babatunde Salman. On the Punch this morning, federal government says Nigeria's current insecurity not religious. The federal government has said that the Nigeria's current situation, security challenges are not religious in nature, insisting that concerted efforts are being made to tackle terrorism and all forms of violent extremism across the country. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Lateef Fagbemi-San, made this known on Tuesday in Abuja while addressing journalists after a closed-door meeting with the United States Congressman and the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Richard Mills Jr. Recall that the United States President Donald Trump in October declared Nigeria a country of particular concern in response to allegations of a Christian genocide in the country. Trump, in a Truth social media post shared on the White House X handle, stated that Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for the mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern.
With me this morning from the Daily Post, Tinubu appoints new chairman of Military Pensions Board. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of retired Air Vice Marshal Abubakar Idris Adamu as the new chairman of the Military Pension Board effective December 1st, 2025. This was issued in a statement yesterday by the Director of Information and Public Relations in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Segun Imohe, saying the appointment is aimed at enhancing transparency, accountability, and operational efficiency in the management of military pensions. Adamu, a distinguished senior officer of the Nigerian Air Force and an accomplished financial professional, has held several key positions. With me this morning from the Daily Post, Tinubu appoints new chairman of Military Pension Board.
Moving on to the Daily Post, Gumi says Nigerian military can't defeat bandits. Government should negotiate. Controversial Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has said the Nigerian military can't defeat bandits through warfare. Gumi said the Nigerian government must negotiate with bandits to de-escalate insecurity in the northwest. Speaking with BBC, the Islamic scholar stressed that armies struggle against guerrilla fighters and that Nigeria is no exception. He says, and I quote, "But even the military says that in dealing with this civil unrest and criminality, only 25% is kinetic action. The rest depends on the government, politics, and local communities. The military cannot do everything. Where have you ever seen the military defeat guerrilla fighters? Nowhere." Gumi's comment comes as President Bola Tinubu ordered security agents to ensure that all those abducted by terrorists are released. Tinubu had directed security forces to work with the state governors in ensuring that abducted victims are released. On the Daily Post this morning, Gumi says Nigerian military can't defeat bandits. Government should negotiate.
From the Punch newspaper, Senate queries WAEC Education Minister over new SSC guidelines. The Senate yesterday queried the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, and the head of the National Office of the West African Examination Council, Dr. Amos Dangote, over the new guidelines introduced by the examination body for candidates writing the 2025/2026 Senior Secondary Certificate Examination. Karimi explains concern that the sudden changes could lead to mass failure next year, as candidates would be compelled to sit for papers they had not been adequately prepared for. Senators contributing to the debate noted that while the changes might be progressive, the timing will place undue pressure on the candidate. They therefore called for the exclusion for the 2025/2026 SSC candidate for the new guidelines and recommended that the changes take effect from the 2027/2028 examinations to give students adequate time to prepare. With me this morning from the Punch newspaper, the Senate queries West African Examination Council Education Minister over new SSC guidelines.
On the Daily Trust, Gumi says again, kidnapping children lesser evil than killing troops. Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has said that the kidnapping of school children, though condemnable, is a lesser evil when compared with the killing of soldiers during attacks by armed groups. In an interview with the BBC, Gumi argued that crimes committed by bandits vary in gravity. He noted that abductions in which victims are freed unharmed should not be equated with murder. He cited incidents in Kebbi State where students were seized and later released without fatalities, saying such cases illustrate the difference between evil and a greater evil. According to him, his message is for parents of the abducted children is prayer for their safe return. The cleric reaffirmed his long-standing call for dialogue with bandit groups. He insisted that negotiations remain a realistic tool for reducing violence and saving lives. The cleric claims that government should not engage non-state actors. He said such positions are neither religious or practical. According to him, past mediation efforts were carried out openly and with the knowledge of security agents and journalists. On the Daily Trust, Gumi says kidnapping children lesser evil than killing troops.
From the Vanguard newspaper, Adeleke officially joins Accord Party. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State has officially joined the Accord Party ahead of the party's governorship primary scheduled for today. The governorship's defection comes after a resignation letter dated November 4th surfaced online on December 1st, following which the People's Democratic Party, PDP, conducted its primary that produced Adebayo Adedamola as its candidate. Adeleke formally announced this move yesterday evening at the banquet hall of the Government House, Oshogbo, in the presence of national and state leaders of the Accord Party. In a statement issued by spokesperson Olawale Rasheed, the governor confirmed that the Accord Party will serve as his new political platform to seek re-election in 2026. With me this morning from the Vanguard newspaper, Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State officially joins Accord Party.
On the Vanguard, Rivers State Governor Fubara defect to APC. After months of speculation, the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC. The governor announced his defection while addressing stakeholders at a meeting held at the Government House, Port Harcourt, on Tuesday evening. Fubara's move came barely 72 hours after 17 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly, led by the Speaker, Martin Tameule, who were also elected on the platform of the PDP, resigned and joined the ruling party. Addressing the gathering, Fubara said he had good news for the people of the state, adding that he met with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday to brief him on development in the state. After praising President Tinubu for his support to Rivers State and for what he described as helping the state overcome its recent political crisis. Fubara told his supporters that it was better for us to move from where we are to where it is better for Rivers State. Beaming with his signature smile, the governor expressed confidence that Rivers State has the population and political strength to take a decisive step into the APC. On the Vanguard, Rivers State Governor Fubara defect to APC.
For a smooth, stress-free flight experience, Olubukola Travels and Tour brings you easy flight booking with UMZA Aviation Services Limited right here in Ilorin. Flight begins December 1st, 2025. Ticket sales start Wednesday, 26 November 2025. Ilorin to Abuja, 7:45 a.m. Abuja to Ilorin, 5 p.m. Flight to Kano and Sokoto is available. For ticket purchase, visit number 4 GTTS quarters at Dewale Estate, opposite Custom Lodge, Ilorin. For inquiries, call 0803-357-9219 or 0802-988-6743. Reach out via batureganiu2021@gmail.com or nurukulub2025@gmail.com. We've got you covered with Umrah and Hajj packages, hotel reservations in Saudi Arabia, tickets to international trips to all parts of the world, complete, affordable and reliable travel solutions. Olubukola Travels and Tour, your trusted path to a seamless journey.
I'm on a journey.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, Call CBN 0817-665-7060, SAC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Announcer, FSRCC.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Thank you for staying tuned to SBS 96.9 FM. In case you are just tuning in, you are listening to the newspaper review and analysis with Racheal, Damilola, Arokoyo, and
Olubukola, Abiola.
All right.
And with me here this morning is Comrade Alikinla, ready to help us understand what really is going on in the country right now. Today we've got big stories from the new exams rule, political party hopping, and the ongoing debate about our national security. So let's jump in. First up, the upper chamber of the National Assembly, the Senate, they are challenging the new SSCE guidelines from the exam board and the Education Ministry. The changes are creating ripples among parents and students who were expecting stability. Comrade Alikinla, what's the fuse really about? Are these new rules good for students or just more pressure?
Oh, thank you very much. Before I proceed, I must acknowledge your presence, moderator Olubukola and Damilola, Racheal, Arokoyo. So I'm highly welcome to your studio this morning.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Okay, so according to your question, is it a new rule or?
This new rules, is it good for students or is it just going to add pressure on them?
Just like what the National Assembly have said and what they believe and what they concur, was that they believe that it was too early, or it is too early for the students to write an exam on topics or subjects that are not being taught. So such subjects such as AI as a course, and these the removal of computer studies and civic education, that they are not satisfied with the removal of it, where the world is now going on a digital atmosphere. So why removing computer study as a general study for students? But what the WAEC officials believe that the computer will be generally for everybody to pass through, whether you are a computer science or you are English student or political science student. The good thing is that you must learn how to use computer. So therefore, computer is supposed to be generally for everybody to take as a GST among all those courses that they are going to take. But for the meantime, that they should extend it from 2025-2026 academic examination, SSC academic examination, that they should take it further to 2027 and 2028, so that those students might have been taught on what they are going to write during WAEC examination.
All right, thank you very much. So you are not in support of the change at this particular time, but you know that the students still have from January to May, June to prepare themselves for the exams. While I was in secondary school, I think immediately after my set, they stopped biology and then they introduced civic education. Okay. Yes, so I want to believe that the students still have some more time to prepare towards their examination. What do you think, Comrade?
Well, just like what you have said, you say for they also change from biology to civic education.
Yes.
Now, everybody cannot be brilliant at the same time and the same pace. It is because you are brilliant and you don't expect everybody to be like you. The point here is that those who are not brilliant today may be brilliant tomorrow, and those who are not intelligent today will be intelligent while the processes are gradually emanating. Some people, they catch faster, while some people, they catch slower, but they are equally intelligent, but they just catch slower. So that is what you have to put into consideration before you take decision. Under critical decision making, you have to be widespread. You have to be considerate in order to carry the brilliant, less brilliant, intelligent, less intelligent people along, so that you build them together in that regard. So I believe that is that.
All right, Comrade, let's talk about something really funny right now. So you're saying that if the guidelines are changed, so this would make the exams really harder and difficult for the student to actually solve, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're a parent that has a child that's going to write the SSC, are you worried that your child is going to pass?
That is why I'm saying in this format, in this regard, that it is better for us to be considerate. Then we have to be genuine. We know fully whether the medulla oblongata is not equal. That some people are more brilliant than the others. Some students will be in the class while they were taught, but they will still score 0. While others will score 80, 70, 100. You understand? So in that regard, it's just like you considering somebody who is an amputee or somebody who is not physically okay. So if you say you are bringing out things or dividends for democracy for people, you don't consider those less privileged, those people who are deaf and dumb. You need to consider all ramifications of life, or all human beings who are existing in this country. So I believe for giving them a grace of just 1 year or about some few months doesn't stop make Nigerians to be backward in terms of educational development.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade. Now, the change in this subject that I'm talking about is over 10 years now, let's say 12, 13 years. They introduced civic education. Now, in Nigeria, presently, we have a lot of parents, introducing their children to the use of computer. There are some that take their children to business centers to learn how to use computer. So is it really necessary that children learn computer science in school, or even the civic education that was introduced less than 13 years ago?
You see, just like what you have said, that we're learning computer science. We see computer is a very broad spectrum of studies. Course. You have computer analyst, you have computer operator, then you have computer science itself. So you have a lot of branches. It's a complete science, and that is why you see that people just need to see that they want to be very, very careful. Like you take, for instance, in the Europe countries, when a father wants his child to be a lawyer, they don't waste time and go and study some other courses like engineering courses, physics, chemistry, biology, and you know fully well that you want your child to be a lawyer.
But mostly Nigerian universities, you don't get to choose your course. They just
You just
Right.
meet yourself there.
Exactly.
So that is the difference, and that is
I
why.
think a lot of students now, for Nigerian universities, we're used to saying that Nigerian universities are destiny changers.
Changers.
Yeah, because
Because my younger brother wanted to study mass communication, and he found himself studying human kinetics. In fact, he's a graduate now. So
can you imagine?
he doesn't have any choice.
And they
than
don't
to
even
just
have provision
take
for
the
that human
course.
kinetic as
So it's destiny
a
we
job.
changed to
Exactly.
human kinetics.
Because he
Awesome.
waited for like 3 years before he got admission. He couldn't wait any longer, so he just had to, accept the course like that. So you are relating it with the developed countries. They study, when they want to become a lawyer, they go to school, study law. They have the right to choose for themselves. So now let's bring it back to Nigeria. What do you think the Nigerian tertiary institutions should do to improve, on course selection or course, just generally about giving people the course that they desire to study?
Okay, let me come in this regard. That when I was growing up, my economics stroke geography lecturer, I have flair for these science courses.
Okay.
But when he now looked at me as a chief debater of my school, he looked at me, he said, "Oh, Jimo, Alikinla, why don't you go for art courses?"
Okay.
I said, "Me art? No. I love chemistry so much. I love
You like the practical
yes,
thing.
I
Yeah.
love biology, and I love anything sciences." So he now advised me. I just say, okay, what I would do, let me go and read TAMP, Urban and Regional Planning. Then I was in. But later on, I now find myself studying international management. And today, I find myself as a media practitioner. You now discover that what the man saw as at that point in time was real. And today, I am doing okay in this regard. So, and likewise, what I did for my child, who is now in the College of Education, is that I studied her. I discovered that she doesn't have flair for maths. She doesn't know it. So I now decided to introduce her to English and political science. And I believe she's going to go to places in that aspect. So my own is that what God has destined you for you to be is what you are going actually to be. You nobody can change your destiny. So for that, and that is what I believe most of the leaders, most of the professors, most of the days in Nigeria believes, and that is why you see they can just wake up one morning and recommend a course for a student or a person.
Okay. For a new subject to start, right, the citizens should be well informed and prepare for it. Now, let's talk about the teachers. Do we have enough teachers to teach these subjects that are just being introduced into the Nigerian curriculum?
You see, one thing is that you don't need to have enough teachers on the
Really?
ground. Yes, you don't need, because in modern, I'm coming. In modern marketing, the best way to advance and improve in life is to create a problem first. When you now create a problem, you look for those who prefer solution. You don't create solution
Without problem.
and you don't have problem. No,
Okay.
that is why in modern marketing you look for the buyers first before you create a product. Because by the time you produce excess on the ground, nobody to buy it, you now lose. You lose your raw materials, you lose your
Revenue,
intelligence,
profit.
you lose your profit, and so that is why you create a market first. So in that regard, when you like what I'm seeing now is that let's have the problem. Then when you now have the problem, you now create people who will solve it, rather than for you having people being paid without doing anything. And that is why you see. So by creating these courses or these subjects, what you need to create the subject first, and let's look for those who will analyze and solve the problem.
So in essence, there will be more recruitment of teachers.
Good. That was why you discovered when you
So to create more job opportunities.
job
right?
opportunities. When you were here, you know we were discussing about the students' loan.
Yes,
Lot of analysts condemn it in Kwara State. I was the only one standing, and I told them that it is better for my child to be a debtor than for him not to think properly in order to pay that debt. If my child is a debtor, or I myself am a debtor, I'll be thinking on how to pay those debts. Then at that point in time, after finishing the debt, those things must have been used to me where I will not create my own wealth. But if I'm used to sleeping and enjoying in my free zone, a comfortable zone, I will remain poor. But it is when I get to the harsh environment, it is there I will not take. How can I move out of this environment, this deadly environment or critical environment? It's by my thinking, in order to satisfy my creditors, is there I will not have surplus for me to use.
But Comrade, that is you. Everybody doesn't work under pressure. Some people, their health can take them having to owe a lot or having to have it in their mind. And
not just health.
Yeah.
Some people's conscience, they can't just take it.
So we have to also think about conscience and health-wise. It's not everybody that has the power and the mind to actually say, "Oh, I want to actually do it and I want to actually borrow." So
okay, let me come in this regard now. Again, that according to the government, they say they are going to borrow you money and you are going to pay back when you are employed. Now, take for instance, you are the president of this nation. You borrowed about 50 students loan and there is now employment. Who are you going to employ first? Okay, let me come in.
The person
now,
who is indebted, I guess.
Good. So invariably for those, if you have created yourself in a good regard, that you come up or you came up with a flying color, then you are not brilliant, not those who will go to school and start going from party to party. No, you are very brilliant and they want to employ. Those who are heavily indebted to the government will be employed first. Because for you, who is not owing them, they don't know you. They want to make sure that these people who they threaten with jail going will not go to jail, based on the fact that they just threaten them that if you don't pay within 2 years, you'll be jailed. Who created the problem is the government. Who is going to solve the problem is the government. So you discover that the government they are in every year, rather than keeping the money or stashing Nigerian money elsewhere in Europe or in abroad, using it for themselves. Let the whole generality of the public enjoy the surplus of Nigerian wealth. Nigeria is very, very wealthy, but when you have people who are siphoning it, looting it, using it for jobs that are dirty, you go to Swiss account now, you discover that Nigerians stash money there. The money is just there, enriching other people's economy. Why don't you give it to the student? As you say it's a loan, and if such student is no longer in existence, they write off the loan. So you have a lot of attachment to those loans, and I believe a lot of students are not getting it, and they are very happy for it.
All right.
Thank you very much. You're still listening to the newspaper review and analysis on SBS 96.9 FM. Now, on the Punch newspaper, the federal government says Nigeria's current insecurity is not religious. The federal government has said that, the Nigeria's current security challenges are not religious in nature, insisting that concerted efforts are being made to tackle terrorism and all forms of violent extremism across the country. In the same vein, Gumi on the Daily Post says Nigerian military cannot defeat bandits. Government should negotiate. So, generally, let's talk about insecurity in Nigeria. Gumi has always been an advocate for negotiations when it comes to bandit and terrorism in Nigeria. What is your take on is it religious or it has something to do with the economic realities of Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Let's keep economic reality of Nigeria aside, because that affects everybody. But when you talk about religion, Nigeria doesn't have the strength, energy, wherewithal, capacity, agility, and ability to curtail religious fight in Nigeria, because we are intertwined, especially in relationship, in family relationship. So you don't tell somebody from the Southwest that you are going to experience a religious war, because they are so accommodative to the extent that mother can marry a Muslim can marry a Christian. Exactly. So we are so intertwined that you cannot create a decent separation between us. So, but in the North, they are almost like that, but they have some element of gap.
So
the element of gap is that you discover that they are not, it could be tribes. We could find the religions in tribe separation. Rather than in the West, the western part of this country of Nigeria, you discover that they are intertwined within the immediate family. And they accommodate one another. They don't see religious, because you even have the traditional religions there. That you see, almost moving with them side by side, because that is the oldest religion in Nigeria, and it was from this oldest religion, like the traditional religion, that metamorphosed into Christianity and Islam and all other religion that's coming in. So the old religion, who are indigenous religion, accommodated these various religions. So it is very difficult for Nigeria to degenerate into a religious war. So because if Nigeria do, it will be catastrophic. Nobody, no group in the world can curtail it. And it will be so massive that Nigeria, but the good thing is that Nigeria is very, very clever and intelligent. Nigeria knows when this is a family tie and this is a religious tie. So in Nigerian bond and relationship is more stronger with the indigenous tribe of the nation rather than the religious aspect of it. Nigeria is so tied with their families and friends more than the religious angle of it. And that is why the families and friends angle of life dominated and dominates the Nigerian existence as a nation. So, and that is why you cannot get a religious war.
All right.
So it was Chief Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General of the Federation, who was talking to the United States Convoy and Consulate when they were discussing on how to go about it, because the Western world, especially the US, was misinformed by Pastor Dashomo from Plateau State that Nigeria is degenerating into a genocide, and thereby leading to the existential aspect of the Christianity in Nigeria. The man could see it in that regard, but it wasn't an accurate information, but almost you could see, because why the pastor deduced or concluded in that regard was that he now discovered that those who are fermenting this mayhem, who are perpetrating it, who are criminalizing it, are majorly from the Islamic point of view, and they claim to be Muslim, whereas they are not Muslims. They are extremists who wanted to hide under the guise of Islam. But the truth here is that Nigeria has improved academically, matured in thinking, and that was why you see that those things cannot take us by surprise. So we are actually a shock absorber and are prepared for that. Thank you very much.
All right, Comrade Jimo, still talking about insecurity. Gumi saying that Nigerian military should negotiate. As an Islamic scholar, beg your pardon, Sheikh Ahmed Gumi saying that kind of statement, negotiating. The Nigerian military should negotiate. How should the public feel by this statement? Should we be worried? Should we be concerned that our Nigerian military cannot defeat bandits? Rather, they should negotiate with bandits.
You see, thank you very much. When you say defeat, is that you want to exterminate them.
Yes.
You want to destroy them completely.
We want them out.
You want to make them inhumane. And when you say you destroy, is that it's just like you see your cousin as a bandit because they are surviving with it.
My cousin as a bandit?
Yes, I'm taking for instance.
Okay.
Not then you are the soldier now, asked to go and kill bandit. The bandits are having their sway based on the fact that the military are related to them in blood and spirit. And majority of the military, let me come in that regard, that majority of them are mainly from the northern part. And they discover that these are people.
They're like brothers.
Yes. And you discover that Gumi himself said he will not want America to come and bob his cousin, his in-laws, his brothers, just to exterminate their life.
So we should add sentiment to it.
No. Gumi is not correct.
Okay.
What he wanted was what the late President Yaradua did to the militant in the Niger Delta. And that is why when you are acting today, remember, people will extrapolate it tomorrow. It's going to be a reference point tomorrow. When Yaradua was the president, he never destroyed the militant from Niger Delta. He cajoled them. He talked to them. He counseled them. What do you need? And those boys said, we need training and retraining. We want employment. And Yaradua said, okay, I'm giving you an employment. And then he gave them amnesty. Rather than destroying them that, oh, you were the one who bombed this, you were the one who kidnapped this, you were the one who killed how many soldiers. A lot of soldiers lost their life at that aspect, at that point in time. And you discover that they were not exterminated outrightly, but they were convinced and they laid out their hands. So that is the reference point, I think, that Gumi is moving towards. Okay. That if that could be done in the south, you can equally give that to the northern part of this country. But you see, one thing I discovered about the northern part of Nigeria is that they like to copy. They copy a lot of ideas from foreign lands. They have that in their mind that if our own son, late President Yar'Adua, can discuss with the militants who are not related to him, why can't somebody from the south now discuss with us and let us lay down our arms? Mainly, we are not employed. We are not happy. We live in the bush because the system is bad and because our leaders are not helping matters and because they are not creating jobs for us. They are not engaging us in all ramifications of life.
Talking about being employed, I think people from the north gain more employment than any other region in Nigeria.
In the civil service or in the military parastate? I mean, in
both
the
military, civil service, everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Good. They gain employment for those who are literate, for those who are intelligent. But do you know that they have chunk? I'm coming. They have chunk of those who are uneducated youth. So those people, they are basically unemployable. You get me? Okay. And the majority of them, you go to the market, you see them, they are selling sugarcane, sweet, tom-tom, all those kind of things that cannot even make a living because they are too cheap to give you good food on the table. So that is what they are passing through. A lot of them are Arabic students. They call them almanjiris, and you discover that when you now get there, when you get to see them or to meet them, you discover that majority of those almanjiris are equally beggars. They have plates on their hands.
Of course.
They carry plates up and down. Those who begot them cannot even feed them. So these are what we are talking about. So you have a lot of them who knew little or nothing concerning how to live a good life. You have a 4-year-old boy, the mother maybe is in Kafansha, Kaduna, while the son is in Ilorin begging. So you discover that even parental upbringing is not there. Courtesy, modern way of living is not there. You only find the group of people who believe that my child will be trained to the letter before I allow them go. So when in the western part of this country, you discover that we have parents who are ready to train their children.
All right, thank you very much. The studio line to call is 0703-150-1256. Hello, good morning.
I think we lost her. Please do well to call us back later.
0703-150-1256. Before we pick another call, I just want to ask a very simple question. Before, earlier you said we should keep the economic realities aside, keep religion aside as well. Then
okay, I think we have a call.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you are calling from?
Mr. Isa from Ilorin.
Good morning, Mr. Isa.
Yeah, we are discussing about the security. We are saying that the claim that there is a Christian genocide that is not always affecting both. But why is it these days? Why have the Muslim group kept quiet? Why do they have to wait until the Christians cry that there is genocide before they start? No, it is also happening to us. If it is happening to you, why don't you cry? Why don't you talk? Why in one way or the other show sympathy? Why are the Muslim world keep quiet over what Gumi is doing? We are referring to what happened in Niger Delta. Niger Delta was talking about what Nigeria is depending on, and they are suffering. Okay, what are these people fighting for? Is it not? And when these people are talking, they use your language, Arabic, and you are still there saying they are not part of you. Why don't you renounce them on time and let the world know that they are not part of you? Why do you have to wait until when the genocide issue is raised before you start crying? I think that is my own view. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isa. Okay, I was saying that you said we should keep the religious sentiment aside, we should keep the economic realities aside, and you made mention of tribe. Now, what role does tribe...
I think we have another call on the line.
Good morning.
My name is Alhaji Bajobaje from Pathology.
You're welcome, Alhaji.
We thank all of you who are here, especially your guests.
Thank you.
Now, people I want to talk about them. They suffered our picket too much. They waste our money. all policies here, any point now. We don't tire, though. We don't tire for them. They just suffer our pity.
All right, thank you, Halaji.
What role, quickly, does tribe has to play in exacerbating insecurity in Nigeria? Because while you were talking, you made mention of Gumi trying to protect his people.
Relatives, kind of.
With the same tenacity at which he's trying to protect his people, shouldn't he be at the forefront of trying to, calm the whole situation? So let me hear from you.
Thank you very much. Before I move, like what the observation of Mr. Mr. Isa was very, very technical. It was very, very good question. And the observation of Alhaji Babamanjo Baje from a pathologist, you discover that the Muslims tend to keep quiet a little, and they were not shouting. But based on the fact that they believe that the leaders are doing something, and that was why they were looking. Most of the time, in the north especially, they don't like challenging authority. They were brought up in that form.
Really? Yes, challenging authority?
Yes, now, during the colonial period, you have direct or indirect rule in the northern part of this country, based on the fact that the white men will talk to the emirs. And the emirs will now in turn deliver to the subject, based on the fact that they are not good at speaking conventional English. But in the western part of this country and the eastern part, it was directly, because they are educated already before the European came. So, like your question now, you said
tribe.
Yes, the tribe is more dominant. In Nigeria. I'm not saying that the religious aspect is not working, but the tribe is more dominant. Like now, you don't give me anything to go and assassinate my own brother who is happen to be a Christian or an idol worshipper or an Isese worshipper. I will not do that because I believe that I'm going to, because even though if Prophet Muhammad can do that with his uncle, who has been, he wasn't a Muslim at that point in time before he died. And the Holy Prophet did not kill him based on the fact that he never believed in Islam. Because that man died as an idol, he believed in idol, and he died as an idol worshipper, even at the hands of the tribes, more than the religious aspect of Nigerian life.
All right, you can still call the studio line 07031501256, 07031501256.
All right, moving on. Rivers State Governor for
see where they are.
Thank you.
And there are so many other things that we can use to kill them, not to kill them completely. Because of our people that are among the students that are there.
Thank you.
They can kill them small. So that we can catch them.
Thank you
very much
for your
now,
opinion.
While he was talking, he made mention that most of them are Muslims. Like Comrade Alikinla rightly said, he said they are hiding under the guise of Islam.
Yeah.
Now, he also suggested that the bush be cleared. It is not recommended, or it is not a good idea for, let me put it this way. Deforestation, exactly what I'm driving at. So it is actually not a good idea, but maybe the government can look into that to see how they can work with it. Comrade Alikinla.
The truth is that in other countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, and co, like those forest reserve you are seeing, they actually make it with cash crops like banana. You just see massive banana plantation. You see massive palm tree plantation. You see massive cocoa plantation. That will be before you now get forest, you will go farther from the town, very far from the town. Rather than you live just a kilometer, you get thick bush for criminals to hide. So these are the things. He brought a good idea, but that idea, I don't think even the president of the country have their capacity, because to clear the bush alone is a massive investment. You are going to invest there.
Definitely.
So those are the things.
So let's go back to Siminalayi Fubara and APC.
Yes, Siminalayi Fubara has just taken his own decision in order to develop his state. You cannot continue having where the governor will be fighting his own people and lack of development. At this point in time, where Nigeria need development, massive development. And that is why you see that the president is borrow to build, not borrow to invest and make sure that they get their money back instantly. But they are looking for a way to have a very massive infrastructural development, and in order for Nigeria to be among the nation. Because if you want to woo investors into your country, what they look first is that they talk about security, secondly they talk about infrastructure, and thirdly they talk about power and the manpower. When I say power, you mean lights, and when you not talk about manpower, you mean individual human being who will work in that companies. Like when you look at Dangote now, Dangote employ about 33,000 people. And majority of the major work there are expatriates from India, China, Russia, and co.
And many more.
Yes, where Nigeria occupy, where those people where you have labor, and it's not good for our economy, because they are coming here to pack our money and take it in.
All right,
back to their
Comrade,
country.
do you think politicians are putting their interest before the interest of the citizen, and how does this affect the trust in democracy? And if you're a citizen of Rivers State, does this defection change how you see your governor?
Thank you very much. My governor cannot be an outsider, based on the fact that you can see not only Rivers State that move, even as I yesterday or this morning, the governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, moved to Accord Party. And the reason was that the APC in Osun State have already chosen their former governor before to leave.
So you think this is about the governor Ademola leaving is about ideology, personal ambition, or frustration with his former party?
Personal interest, maybe.
Yes. All of the above. Got frustration from the PDP. The PDP no longer have strength.
Yes.
The umbrella has been weakened, and he believes that that party cannot deliver him to governorship. But I didn't buy that idea in its entirety, based on the fact that this former president have done it before in Lagos. When President Obasanjo was there, he swept everywhere in the western part of this country, leaving no Lagos standing. And when Lagos was standing, this president, he was the governor then, he never changed. He never moved. He never switched to the PDP as a party at that point in time. He stood his ground and later reclaimed the whole western part back. He claimed the whole western part back, and today they find themselves in power as the president of the nation. So in that regard, I believe is that it's lack of techniques and lack of ideology. And by the time you bring your personal ideology above the ideology of the generality of the public, and this is what you get. And what I will now say is that I will hide under the canopy that Nigeria is growing in terms of democracy. But we are not yet there, based on the fact that the leaders have their own personal intention more than the general intention of the totality of the people. But in democracy, what democracy pretends is that you have to have the interest of the public. It should be more than your own personal interest, because your single interest cannot overshadow the general interest of the public. And by the time we now get there, you will discover that things will change. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Jimo Alikinla. Time will tell whether or not the governors defected for the development of their state or for their personal interest. Thank you very much for listening to SBS 96.9 FM. I am Racheal Damilola Arokoyo. Please join us again, same time, same station, tomorrow for the newspaper review and analysis.
Well, thank you to all dear listeners who called in and who tuned in this morning on SBS 96.9 FM. See you tomorrow. I am Olubukola, Abiola.
Services Regulation and Coordinating Committee FSRCC and the National Broadcasting Commission NBC don't join body to warn everybody of the plenty wahala where the illegal financial operators IFOs they cause every day, where they spoil and scatterbalance the